Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to the Daily Packers Post, where we bring you in-depth daily coverage of your Green Bay Packers Monday through Friday. I'm Gil Martin. I am the founder and editor of the Packers Post, and it's great to have you with us. Don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell so you get new episodes as soon as they drop. Today, we're going to take a look at the Packers 2023 draft class after 2 seasons. And again, usually you can't fully evaluate a draft class until a minimum of 3 seasons because there are players like, for example, Davante Adams, who in his third season, things clicked. He went to a different level, became a star. If you would have asked after 2 seasons, how is Davante Adams doing as a high draft pick? Well, he's dropping a lot of passes. He's not very consistent. If you asked a year later, he was a potential star. And a year after that, he was a star. So with that in mind, that most of these grades are kind of, on the temporary side, but they are sort of a progress report for this group. And in 2023, Packers GM Brian Gutekunst drafted 13 players. Now, they are not all with the Packers anymore. And these grades are really only going to be discussing how they did with the Packers. If there are players who went elsewhere and did well or did poorly for that other team, we're really not concerned with that. It's the impact they made for the Packers that we're focusing on. So in the first round, 13th pick overall, the Packers chose edge rusher Lukas Van Ness. And look, Van Ness is pretty good against the run right now, but the pass rush, well, he still needs some work. He had 3 sacks this year. In his rookie year, he had 4. And the big issue, Van Ness is a raw talent. He has got size and speed, but he is still green and needs to develop more pass rush moves than just a bull rush. In college, against most opponents, if you are a superior athlete like Van Ness, you can get away with having one move and you'll beat, most of your opponents using that one move. Well, in the NFL, you need a secondary and maybe even a third move in order to do that. Now, Van Ness has not missed a game in his 2 seasons with the Packers, but he has also never started a game. And, you expect a first-round pick, especially after Preston Smith was traded. You would sort of expected maybe Van Ness would step in and start. That was not the case. Right now, I give Van Ness a C+ through 2 seasons. And again, these grades are a combination of expectation and performance. So if a second-round pick and a sixth-round pick have identical statistics, the sixth-round pick is going to get a higher grade than the second-round pick because the second-round pick had higher expectations. Speaking of second-round picks, the Packers had 2 in 2023. The first one was Luke Musgrave, the tight end. And realistically, Musgrave has had his career so far undermined a bit by injuries. He only played 7 games this past season, only made 7 catches for 45 yards, played 11 games in his rookie year. And so he has played only 18 out of a possible 34 regular season games for the Packers. He is a serviceable blocker, not a great one, but he'll give you the effort, no doubt about that. The beautiful thing about Musgrave is that he has the speed to split the seam and get downfield, which is rare for a tight end. But he hasn't been on the field enough, and he lost the starting job in training camp this year to Tucker Kraft. I still think there's a bright future for Musgrave, but as of right now, the injuries have limited his production. I give him a C+ so far, but again, I want to see what he can do on the field, and I want to see some 2 tight end formations with Kraft and Musgrave on the field together to see what they could do. The other second-round pick, wide receiver Jayden Reed. Now, Reed, all he's done in his 2 years with the Packers is lead the team in catches and yards, both seasons. He is mostly the slot receiver. He had 55 catches for 857 yards and 6 receiving touchdowns. Also ran 20 times for 163 yards and 1 touchdown. The problem with Reed, more than anything, was in the first half of this past season, he was red hot. Really looked like he was on his way to 1,000-yard season and maybe a 75 catch season, but he kind of cooled off in the second half of the year. The Packers weren't throwing him the ball downfield as much. A lot of plays near or even behind the line of scrimmage. I would like to see Matt LaFleur scheme some plays open for Reed a little bit more frequently. And I would like to see Reed get the ball with an opportunity to make big plays like we saw in the first 8 or 9 games of the season. Overall, though, the fact that he is kind of your slot receiver, only on the field for 55-60% of the plays, and led the team in receiving catches and yards the last 2 years, I give him a solid B+, and the potential is there for him to be even better. Tucker Kraft, wow. I mean, he won the tight end job, as we mentioned earlier, in training camp. Did a very good job. 50 catches, 707 yards. First on the team with 7 touchdown catches. His expertise is running after the catch. He does it so well. It is very hard. You could throw the ball to Tucker Kraft a yard or two ahead of the line of scrimmage and just watch safeties or linebackers try to tackle him one-on-one. It's very difficult for them to do. He has good chemistry with Jordan Love. He's a good red zone target and the ideal check down because he'll take a 2-yard pass and gain 12 yards on it. I give Kraft an A- right now. And if he and Musgrave can stay healthy, they may become the best tight end duo the Packers have had as far as receivers are concerned since Keith Jackson and Mark Chmura back in the mid-1990s. In the 4th round, the Packers selected defensive lineman Colby Wooden. Wooden was in 13 games in 2024 with the Packers, started 1. Not a big-time contributor. He was on the field for 28% of the defensive snaps. No sacks, 20 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss. Kind of average grades from Pro Football Focus as a pass rusher and a run defender. I like him. He's steady, but not as much of a playmaker. Hopefully that will continue with his development, and we'll see more from him in year 3. I give Wooden a solid C+. No, the next pick in the 5th round, and the Packers did have a pair of 5th rounders. Well, we'll start with quarterback Sean Clifford. He was the backup in 2023 through all of 1 pass, but Clifford did not look particularly good in training camp in 2024. And after the preseason was over, he was released, ended up on the practice squad, was elevated a couple of times, but did not appear in a game. Malik Willis really came in and established himself as the backup. So Clifford will have to fight for his spot on the practice squad or the roster in 2025. If Brian Gutekunst does decide to draft another quarterback this year, and he said he would draft quarterbacks often on day 3, not every year, but more often than not as developmental quarterbacks, then again, Clifford would have to fight for that position. As of right now, he gets a D+. In the 5th round, the other pick, Dontavian Wicks, the wide receiver, had a great rookie year for a 5th round pick, but his sophomore year, 2024, a little more uneven. 39 catches again, same number as the previous year, but only 415 yards this time. So the average yards per catch way down. He had 5 touchdown catches. The big issue with Wicks was drops. He dropped 9 passes on 76 targets. Now that 9 could be adjusted depending on whether you look at Pro Football Reference or Pro Football Focus. There are different ratings, but even so, regardless of whether it's 8, 9, 10 drops, one of the highest drop percentages in the NFL. He is a playmaker. He is capable of making big plays, and he did do it on occasion. He just needs to cut down on the drops and be more consistent. I gave Wicks a B through 2 seasons. In the 6th round, the Packers go with Carl Brooks, a defensive tackle out of Bowling Green. I love Carl Brooks because he surprised everybody and really went from, a mid-sized college football conference to the NFL and didn't miss a beat. Here again, he moves from the 3-4 of Joe Barry to the 4-3 of Jeff Hafley and just did it fairly seamlessly. 41% of the defensive snaps. He made 3.5 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for loss. Also contributes on special teams. I gave Carl Brooks a B+. The other 6th round pick, kicker Anders Carlson, struggled through that rookie year in 2023, didn't win the kicking job in training camp this year, ended up playing 2 games for the 49ers, 5 games for the Jets. His grade is a C- from the Packers for one struggling rookie season in Green Bay and then being released. Kind of disappointing that he never found his consistency. And I wish Carlson well. I hope he can replicate what his brother did, again, as long as he's not playing a team that is competing with the Packers. In the 7th round, the Packers had 4 picks, starting with cornerback Carrington Valentine. Valentine started 12 games as a rookie, had 7 starts this past season, played in 15 games, and made 2 interceptions, the first 2 picks of his NFL career, broke up 9 passes and recovered a fumble. Opposing quarterbacks did complete more than 76% of their passes when throwing to receivers covered by Valentine, but he doesn't give you a lot of room to run after the catch. He's physical. He likes to play in press coverage. Reduce the number of pass interference calls that he had as a rookie in his second season. I like his potential. I think he's coming along well. And if Jair Alexander is not back, Valentine has a reasonably good chance to play a bigger role, if not be a full-time starter in 2025. I give Carrington Valentine a B, almost a B+. The other 7th round pick, Lou Nichols, did not make the Packers. He ended up on the Eagles practice squad last year. We're not going to give him a grade or we give him an F just because he did not ever make the team or the practice squad. Anthony Johnson Jr., the safety, was the next pick in the 7th round. And look, he started 4 games as a rookie, which surprised a lot of people. But the Packers let him go after training camp. He signed with the Giants, played 9 games for the Giants, broke up 1 pass, but was mostly a special teams guy. I'm going to give him a C for a solid rookie season, but not being able to follow it up. And clearly the coaching staff wasn't as high on Anthony Johnson Jr. as perhaps some of the fans were after seeing him take on a bigger role as a rookie than expected. Grant Dubose was the last pick. He spent his rookie year in 2023 on the practice squad, was elevated for a game, but did not play. The Packers let him go this year. He signed with the Dolphins, played in 3 games, caught 2 passes for 11 yards. What's a year on the practice squad worth? I gave him a D overall. But, not a bad pick, and I wish him luck wherever his NFL or football career will take him. Again, thank you for watching the Daily Packers Post. We have new videos every Monday through Friday, giving you in-depth coverage of the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget to check out our website at thepackerspost.com for daily articles, Monday through Saturday, on the Green Bay Packers. We go in-depth every day. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, and thanks for watching the Daily Packers Post. I'm Gil Martin. Go Pack Go.